Radical Radio Collective.
Good afternoon, listeners. You're tuned into 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. This is Eco Radio, Australia's longest-running peace and environment radio show, taking over your middle of the day, middle of the week, start of the month airwaves.
Yeah, we're here for a miss at Radiothon.
Yeah,
that'll be next week.
Yeah, we can't banter too much today. We have got a jam-packed show. But I want to start off by acknowledging and paying my respects to the custodians on the country in which we broadcast. We're located in the city of Mungingin on Turrbal Yagara land. I also want to acknowledge and pay my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are listening in today. Our radio waves reach Cubby Cubby and Unibara country in the north, Waka Waka country in the west. In the east, we pay our respects to the Quandamooka people, and down south, we reach the commemorate, Ngarrawal, Mununjali, Wandjarabara, Yugambeh, and Bundjalung countries. Thank you to No Idea for all the great ideas.
And for knowing a lot.
Yeah, for knowing everything. My name is Dave. My pronouns are he, him.
My name is Zack. My pronouns are he, they. And last week on the program, I spoke about Ormiston College and its planned expansion that would involve the removal of habitat that has been labelled as a koala priority area by the Redland City Council. Today, we're going to be having a chat with Debbie Pointing, the president of the Koala Action Group, about this proposed development and how it will affect koalas in the area. Should it go ahead?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to hear what the Koala Action Group have got to say about that. We also have an interview brought to us by our field reporter about Neighbourhood Farm with their founder Matt Backer and Barb from Slow Food Brisbane. And Andy Paine has also sent us an interview to commemorate the 80th anniversary of America dropping a nuclear bomb on Japan. He plays excerpts of memories with Japanese nuclear survivor Takashi Nakata and speaking to anti-nuclear activist Kim Dawson. But before we do go on, 2 weeks ago we talked about acacias, and then last week Marky texted us and said he had to remove zigzag wattles from Brisbane bushland. We're a bit angry about that at the time, but what I didn't realise is that zigzag wattles are an emerging environmental weed, and they're not a local species here.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it is native to Queensland, but not the southeast. So while it sucks that we have to get rid of a Queensland native, it doesn't have the natural limits on its spreading. So in our corner, it's taking over bushland areas.
That's interesting. I think there needs to be more awareness that just because something is native to like a specific country or specific state doesn't mean it's native throughout the whole state. So even like redback spiders are from an isolated pocket in Western Australia now, and they're just everywhere.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's just we created the habitat for them with our sheds and houses and whatnot.
And dunnies.
Yeah, and then they're not adapted, and then they found those places hospitable and now they can live anywhere there.
Yeah, far out.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, well, we've got a jam-packed show, so we better get on with it. You're listening to Eco Radio. My name is Dave.
My name is Zack, and on the line with us we have Debbie Pointing from the Koala Action Group. How are you doing today, Debbie?
Yeah, good, thank you, Zack.
So I think the first place to start off with when they're talking about the discussions of Ormiston College and their planned expansions, could you just tell us what is actually involved with that?
Yeah, sure. So the college has proposed to expand their campus, which is into an area, mostly into an area that they acquired that was privately owned adjacent to the college, and it's got quite a lot of habitat, protected koala habitat. When I say protected, it's actually mapped at a local council level and also at a state government level to supposedly ensure that it is protected in perpetuity. So the college want to do expansion of, a new Olympic swimming pool, indoor sports courts, boarding that they want to go into. This is sort of a short to long term plans. But we believe what will do most of the damage is they're proposing for 3 brand new junior sporting ovals, and there's already 5 on the campus. We're not talking a huge area here. So in that brand new area there that at the moment is untouched. There's mostly koala habitat on there and a bit of cleared area where they park their buses. The 3 brand new sporting ovals is what we believe will do most of the damage to the mapped core koala habitat.
Could you talk about how important this habitat is, how habitat is for koalas in the Redlands?
Yeah, sure. So, the Redlands area, we've, like a lot of other areas, we have experienced a quite devastating decline of our koalas over the last 20 years. We used to have thousands of koalas living in the wild, and they've declined by about 85%. So we're down to less than 1,000 now. However, the Ormiston area still a really great area for koalas. They're surviving. It is an urban environment, but Redlands, we do have koalas living in our urban areas, in our parklands and in our school grounds, along creek lines, and even still, we're fortunate to have them in our backyards as part of our neighbourhood. So, and Ormiston College is situated right in a really vital corridor, which is along Hilliard's Creek. They sit alongside it. And over the years, they've done incremental expansions, which has taken out habitat. And to be fair, they have swapped land back with council, where they've allowed protection of important habitat by doing sort of a land swap. This situation is very different. We're talking about more than 650 habitat trees that they are proposing to take out. So that's actually a third of the remaining habitat that's left on the entire site. So they're going to take out a massive chunk. And again, it won't be all at once, but they're trying to get approval through what they call a ministerial infrastructure designation, which bypasses the council's planning processes, and it goes straight to the Minister for Planning, which is Jared Blay, to get approval. So we have great concerns that they're going big with their plans through the avenue of the state government, and effectively it cuts out a lot of the community's voice to have a say in these proposed expansions.
The college has I believe the principal has promised that it will enhance the ecological value of the area by planting more habitat trees than they remove. Could you talk about why this is insufficient?
Yeah, so when they talk about replanting trees, we're talking about small plants, so small eucalyptus plants that have a few leaves on them essentially. The trees we're talking about that they're going to remove, 653 I think it is, we're talking big trees. Some of them would be over 100 years old, possibly 150 years old. So they have got these massive canopy of fodder on them that we know koalas are using them because we've got a lot of very, I would say, avid koala watchers in the area, and they're providing us with evidence on a weekly basis that koalas are in those trees, that it will be underneath sporting ovals. So to replant, whether it's 600 small plants, which it's quite, we don't actually know how they would possibly do that, because it's a fairly constrained or confined area that we're talking about. We cannot see how that would be a better outcome for the koalas that are using those mature trees as we speak.
And we've spoken about koalas on the program a lot before, and about the specific requirement that they need wildlife corridors, and this seems to me like it would significantly impact the way that koalas are able to move within the area.
100%. It cannot possibly not impact the koalas that are using that area. It was quite disappointing to read the college's ecological report, where they downplayed the importance of, one, that corridor that runs through the school where a lot of this development is going to occur, and two, their methodology for their koala assessment on the site was to find koala scats or poos on the ground, and we believe there was inconsistencies in the report because they're saying, in their opinion, from what they found, there was low koala usage of that site. And we dispute that very strongly because as I said, we're getting evidence every week of koalas on that site. So we dispute that finding.
I believe I've even seen images on Facebook that there's been koalas found on the campus itself over the last couple of days even.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the other thing I want to talk about is going back to the ministerial infrastructure design. This will allow the college to bypass the Redland City Council regulations. How can people have their voices heard? Because I believe this takes out a lot of community consultation from it as well if it goes directly through the state government.
Yes, so our understanding is that the college took their proposal to the council some years ago, and they were basically told, we cannot approve this with all of those overlays that are on koala overlays that are on the site that are intended to protect that area, as I said earlier. So council basically said no. So going up to the state government, that effectively it bypasses the council processes, and it was actually, this particular proposal was discovered by accident on the state development website by one of our members who was looking at another development proposal. So we don't know yet how they are intending to inform the public, but to date there has been no information fed out to the community apart from what our group, Koala Action Group, have done. So we believe it's completely unacceptable, especially in an area like Ormiston, where we have council have a lot of koala programs in the area, asking the community to report koala sightings. It's actually regarded, in council have designated as a koala safe neighbourhood, which is really quite ironic that here we are with a proposal like this that really does threaten their future in that area.
So how can the listeners or other people have their voices be heard regarding this issue?
If they follow the Koala Action Group Facebook page, we will certainly be keeping people up to date. We're also posting photographs of koalas that people are sending in to us, just to refute that claim that this is a low usage area for koalas and that it's not an important corridor, because that's untrue. That's very untrue. So there will be apparently further community consultation through the state government process, but we're not sure yet when that will happen. But as I said, we will keep people up to date through our Facebook page of when they can have a say.
So for any listeners out there who want to support the Koala Action Group, please head to their Facebook page, give it a like, and they will be able to keep you informed regarding this issue out in Ormiston. So thank you very much for joining me today, Debbie.
No worries. Thank you, Zack.
Pleasure. Bye.
That was your interview with Debbie Pointing from the Koala Action Group about Ormiston College there, Zack. What I find really destructive about this is that we've got a vulnerable koala habitat in southeast Queensland.
We do.
It's becoming extinct. They say that this is a low koala use area, but how can we then increase the amount of population of koalas that are becoming extinct? How can we reverse that if we're getting rid of areas that are on the periphery of koala habitat? They need space to move.
Yeah, they do.
And grow and move out.
This area as well, I've had a look at it on Google Maps. There's a Scribbly Gums conservation area nearby too, which is quite it's a large section of bushland for the Redlands city as well. But it's also bisected by quite a major road, which they're already going to have trouble crossing. And this is only going to be a further consequence to their ability to move within the area.
Yeah. Pete Davies just texted us in. He said he was walking his dog in Apex Park, literally opposite Ormiston College, and saw 2 koalas in different trees. So there's definitely population in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's crack on. We've still got a jam-packed show to continue with. We have got another interview to play. We were contacted by Slow Food Brisbane and the neighbourhood farm, so we sent our in-field reporter down there. Let's cross to them now.
We have the budget for an infield reporter.
Oh, right.
Thanks, Dave in the studio. I'm Dave in the field, and this week we're in Oxley. We're taking a tour around the neighbourhood farm with the founder, Matt Backer, and from Slow Food Brisbane, we're joined with Barb.
I was wondering, Matt, if you could tell me what neighbourhood farm is.
Yeah, so Neighbourhood Farm's a small-scale market garden that's in the heart of Oxley-Corinda area on Yagara-Turrbal country. And we basically provide a box of veggies for our local community every week. You can pay for a subscription, and we do 7 veggies and also supply other local growers. So we do eggs, bread, butter, all those kind of things as well.
What type of size are we working with here on the farm?
The farm total size would probably be just over an acre, but in growing space, I'd say we'd be about half an acre in growing space.
Matt, can you take us on a bit of a tour of what you've got here?
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, if you're looking in this greenhouse that we have here, there's a lot of our salad greens, like lettuce, spinach, rocket.
So you guys grow a lot of different variety, but previously the farm had been used for a monoculture of tomatoes, right? What is the biggest difference between growing a monoculture to the vast variety that you've got here?
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot of things, I think. There's quite a lot of knowledge that's needed to grow a vast array of vegetables because they all require different things to be the most, productive. And also what we do is we really focus on the soil health. So we provide all our own compost. We remineralize the soil. And yeah, we just basically, our aim is to improve the biology of the soil so that the crops are able to grow much healthier and better. So that's probably our biggest focus. And I think that's like growing all the different crops. It just makes it, the soil doesn't get diseases as easy because you're consistently moving crops around. If you grow a monocrop all the time, you have to try and treat that usually because you'll get something in the soil that is hard to get rid of because they're a perfect environment for it, basically. And tomatoes are probably the best thing. They get a thing called fusarium, and if you grow tomatoes all the time in the same spot, it's way more likely to happen. So it's a benefit actually, having a whole lot of vegetables to move around.
So does that mean you guys are chemical free?
Yeah, we're not like organic certified. The reason being is that anyone can come here and look at what we do. We're open source. You can have a look at what we have. We probably would be able to certify ourselves if we wanted to. And yeah, we don't use any like harsh pesticides or chemicals to grow our food. So everything's like organic certified basically.
And you do have a composter on staff. Can we go have a look at the compost pile?
Yeah, we could probably have a look at something up the back. We'll have to dig in there. But yeah, we can go have a look if you're interested. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Is this the table for the long lunch?
No. So we're bringing in tables from Food Connect, and yeah, that'll be all set out down here.
Yeah, Barb, do you want to tell us a bit about the long lunch and what you're aiming to get from it?
Yeah, sure. We're pretty excited to be having the lunch next week. It's an opportunity for people to hear from Matt about his trip to Terra Madre, so people who are interested in applying to go in future years, because it's on every 2 years, might be interested in coming along, because we'll always support someone to go. But also just people who are interested in seeing the farm, hearing about Matt's experiences in Italy, sitting down to a long lunch of neighbourhood farm produce, but also other small producers from in the community, Echo Valley Meat, Indie Bakehouses providing the bread, Crusher Wines have kindly donated some wine for us to sell. So, it'll be a good lunch and something nice to drink, and it'll be a good chance just for people to get together and learn about the farm, learn a bit about Slow Food Brisbane as well, and what we're what we're involved in, hear about the upcoming events that we'll be announcing as well. Yeah,
last time we talked to Wendy Downs from Slow Food Brisbane, but could you just let the listeners know a little bit about Slow Food to jog their memories?
Sure, yeah. So Slow Food, we're part of the international movement that started in Italy as a reaction to a McDonald's being proposed to be built on the Spanish Steps, and the Italians said no, we think we should be celebrating our local food culture, and now that's something that's been picked up by people all around the world that are interested in preserving their own local food culture and learning and sharing with each other. We're our sort of mission is good, clean and fair food, and our real focus here in Brisbane is connecting small producers like Matt with consumers, so helping people find out how they can get hold of good produce and good, clean and fair food.
Okay. Keep going?
Keep going. So we were just like at where our two big greenhouses are, and now this is the back area where we grow more of our crops for outside. So at the moment it's all brassicas, which is like your broccolis and cabbages and cauliflowers.
Mm-hmm. You've recently gone to Terra Madre. You were sponsored by Slow Food Brisbane to go across there. How important is Slow Food in what you do here at Neighbourhood Farm?
Yeah, Slow Food have supported us not just for Terra Madre, but also with the new legislation that's coming in for small salad greens, and they're just great support for local growers. They're really all about, encouraging small growers and showcasing what they do. So, yeah, they've been great.
Can you tell us about this legislation? I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, so there's a greens legislation that's coming out through the whole country. Basically, there's a set of rules that are coming in to abide by, which could have a huge effect on small-scale growers, because we may have to buy equipment or have to do a whole lot of water testing. There's a whole range of things that are possible to happen that could really affect some growers, which might shut them down.
Matt is talking about the standard 428 primary production and processing standard for leafy vegetables, which has not been rolled out in Queensland yet, but wants to make a standard clean food system that also allows the government to trace where people got their food from.
So some of the bigger growers have had issues with things like listeria and E. coli, and that's kind of what they're trying to tackle, but it's a really broad scale thing, which no small grower that has ever been recorded has had any problem with that. It's been more of a larger scale issue, so we believe that it's something that's not an issue for us. So that's what we've been arguing, to try and reduce that impact on small growers.
Yeah, well, it's a great project you've got here. How can people get involved?
Yeah, so if you want to come down and join us Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have volunteer days. So we'll be picking for the boxes or planting seedlings or working the beds. And basically if you get in contact with us in social media or email, you can come down and join us for a day.
And Barb, can you reiterate what the fundraiser is?
Yeah, thanks. So the next Wednesday, Echo Wednesday, for those in Brisbane, we're having the long table lunch and farm visit here at the farm from 10 till 2. People can buy tickets. Everyone is welcome. Please, if you're interested in the farm or hearing more about Terra Madre or Slow Food, please come along. You can get your tickets on slowfoodbrisbane.com. It's $35 for members, $45 for friends and others. There'll be drinks for sale, kids free. And yeah, we hope people will come along. We'd love to see everyone.
Are you guys a fan of 4ZZZ?
Of course, yeah. Thank you, yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you now a couple of times. We really appreciate your support and the work that you do. Yeah.
Matt, do you listen to 4ZZZ a lot?
Yeah, when I can. Most of the time I'm on the farm working, but yeah, definitely over the years I've listened to Triple Z. So my brother used to work for you guys, so yeah.
It's quite a closed system.
Yeah.
That's all from Mark at Neighbourhood Farm and Barb from Slow Food Brisbane. I've been Dave in the field. Back to you, Dave, in the studio.
Oh, thanks very much, Dave in the field. That was great. Yeah, I'm sure you did a lot of hard work there, putting that together.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it sounds great, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't half bad.
Jack texted in. He said, those Daves have to be related.
I don't know.
I think we're just, like, pretty
Multiple
normal.
Daves.
Yeah, we're just pretty normal reporters.
Yeah, Dave Rave.
Yeah.
They tried to bury me. They didn't realise I was a seed.
You're listening to Eco Radio, the radio of the future. The future, the future.
Thank you, small child.
Oh, you caught me out, Dave. You tricked me.
Yeah, no, I'm throwing some spanners into the wrenches today.
I was preoccupied by something else, and then, yeah.
We did get a text in from Wavy saying, did he not want to take in the field reporter Dave to the compost? No, we did go see it. I just couldn't fit everything in, Wave. There's just so much to do on the farm. But we just heard then from Cub Sport with Come On Mess Me Up. And now we're going to crack on to an interview that Andy Paine has sent us. 4ZZZ reporter Andy Paine remembers this important anniversary by playing excerpts of memories from Japanese nuclear survivor Takashi Nakata and speaking to anti-nuclear activist Kim Dawson. Today is actually the anniversary of the atomic bomb being dropped on Japanese city of Hiroshima in 1945. So it's 80 years today since that bombing, and Andy Paine has sent us this to play.
On August 6, 1945, the US Air Force dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima the first nuclear weapon ever used in war. 3 days later, another was dropped on the city of Nagasaki. The war was effectively over already. The Nazis had surrendered 3 months earlier, but the Japanese had refused to accept unconditional terms of surrender. The US wanted to drop one of their newly developed nuclear weapons as a display of force. The city of Hiroshima, which had until that point not been targeted by US airstrikes, was chosen as the target. Total death numbers are hard to calculate. Approximately 80,000 people died instantly from the blast, with another 40,000 in Nagasaki. Within a year, the death count had doubled from the effects of radiation. Many Japanese people suffered the effects of the nuclear bombs for the rest of their lives. The Japanese word given to these nuclear survivors is hibakusha. One such hibakusha is Takashi Nakata, who was in the Japanese army and sent to clean up the city of Hiroshima. This audio is a translation of an interview with Mr. Nakata and comes from the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The weather was good and I was just kind of looking out toward the city. And just at that time there was a flash, and then it fell, the atomic bomb. But when it fell, I wondered. Totally different from a normal bomb. I mean, everything turned pink. You couldn't see anything, just pink. And I thought, that's strange. If it was a bomb, it wouldn't be bright like this. Since there's about a 4-kilometer distance to the city, It took about 10 seconds for the blast to reach. So for 10 seconds, there I was, wondering what in the world it could be. And then when the 10 seconds were up, the blast came with a bang, and of course I lost my balance and fell over. I was quite used to the sound of bombs exploding, like thunder or with a big bang. But this one was different. It was heavier, like something echoing in the back of your brain, a shattering sound. 2 or 3 hours passed by, and a mushroom cloud which spread, say about 2.5 miles wide, and that was when the first information came in that this was a new type of bomb, and that its smoke had risen. It was around noon, and we were told to go to Hiroshima because the city had burned down and become ashes and bodies needed to be cleared away. Ujina had the sea breeze so well. There was no odor of burning bodies. Not at first, anyway. But then once on land, after a little while the stench came floating through the air, and I remember feeling faint. Probably about 30 minutes later, or maybe even an hour, it got to the point where that smell didn't bother me anymore. I still can't smell. My nose never got better. All of Hiroshima was burnt to the ground. It had been reduced to ashes. Oh, and there were flies everywhere, and of course the smell of death and all, and then half-burnt bodies, just everywhere. It was a city of death. Just about then a woman showed up. She was, I think, about 30 or so. I said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And she said, "It's my daughter. She went off to school, but she never came home, so I came looking for her." "Oh, well, you're never going to find her here," I said. I stood there with her for a while, and she said, "Oh, here she is. This is my daughter." And there was a child laying dead by her mother's feet. It was in the corner of the schoolyard. So that child, we took her aside and burned her separately. The lady had a pair of scissors with her, and with those scissors, cut her child's hair, and was able to take the hair home with her. Even now, this stands out in my memory.
The temperature from the explosion is estimated to have been 3,000 degrees Celsius.
From the bomb, people's bodies, of course, were all burnt, but their eyes, they were bulging out like about this far. There were a lot of bodies like that, and these bodies, I think they were alive when the bomb dropped. And well, you see, they hid inside the house, or went into the river, or... Every house had a little tank of water for extinguishing fires, and there were 3 or 4 people sitting in these tanks. You can imagine just how hot it must have been. Thinking back, I thought those hibakusha must have only been subconsciously alive, running and jumping into the river and all. I had to think that way. It was the only way that could keep me going. And so, there they were living subconsciously for about 10 minutes perhaps, or an hour. Those hibakusha, and while they were alive, well, if they got themselves to the river, they were alive far longer than 5 or 10 minutes. And in the river too, well, those with their eyes bulging out from their raised cheeks, there were so many of them, and to think that they were alive in that state. Thinking about it now, I think they probably weren't conscious, so for them, it probably wasn't as much of a living hell.
Those who went to Hiroshima afterwards, like Takashi Nakata, also suffered from the radiation.
The after effects of the bomb, I was told, included anemia, dizziness, and diarrhea, but they didn't know why. After that, I often felt dizzy from anemia. It never lasted for too long, just a quick faintness. Well, I'm 77 now, but when I turned 70, it started up again, so I guess it's a sickness I have, since it never went away. And so then the other day, I guess it was about 2 months ago, well, this time I lost consciousness completely. I passed out and went to the hospital, but nobody there knew what I had. The hospital couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So I'm thinking, it's the A-bomb thing,
The effects of radiation meant the Japanese hibakusha lived with shame and could be excluded from society.
I was too afraid to talk about it. Right now I have 1 child. My first, second, and third were born within 15 years. But I had heard that from the start that children born within 15 years might not survive. So you see, well, the 3 born within 15 years, they all died. The one that's with us now was born in the 17th or 18th year. All 3 of them died from complications to their head. I still wonder if their deaths weren't caused by the atomic bomb.
This week, as we reach the 80th anniversary of the Hiroshima atomic bomb, there are 2 separate commemorative exhibitions happening in Brisbane. one at St. Stephen's Cathedral called Hiroshima and Nagasaki Never Again, and one at the Queensland Council of Unions building called 80 Years of Resistance to the Nuclear Nightmare by Workers, Trade Unions and Community. I spoke to anti-nuclear activist Kim Dawson about why it's important to keep remembering what happened in Hiroshima 80 years ago.
It's important because the nuclear industry is growing, it's expanding, people are still making nuclear weapons, countries are still threatening to use nuclear weapons, and the result was clear on Hiroshima Day.
In Australia, Hiroshima Day is often linked to the nuclear industry operating in this country. Why do you think it's important to link the bombing with uranium mining and nuclear waste dumps?
Because actually General Atomics, who made the first atomic weapons that were dropped on Hiroshima, is a subsidiary of Heathgate Resources, which owns Beverley Uranium Mine in the South Australian desert. So it's very linked to the mining and the waste. It's all part of the same nuclear cycle.
So many people suffered from the atomic bomb. Even in Russia, they're troubled about making their own A-bomb. And the United States, they have 10,000 nuclear bombs. Why do they create and not abolish them? What right does the human being, primate of all animals, have to possess nuclear weapons and to use them on innocent victims?
That was Andy Paine's interview and interview with Kim Dawson, anti-nuclear activist, and excerpts from Memories of a Japanese Nuclear Survivor, Takashi Nakata. You're listening to 4ZZZ. This is Eco Radio. We're quickly running out of time. It's been an absolute jam-packed show, but we do have one more thing to get to. It's a thing I like to call the Bushcare Roundup.
It's a Bushcare Roundup. They've been pulling out weeds, and then they put in trees. It's the Bushcare Roundup.
All right, happening on Saturday the 9th at 9 o'clock. You can go to the Bushcare Working Bee at Moore Park in Indooroopilly. At 2 o'clock, you can go to the PPCG Natural Bush Regeneration Working Bee. That's Anstead Bushland Reserve in Anstead.
On Sunday the 10th at 8 a.m, there is the August Working Bee. That one's at Brandon Road in Runcorn. At 8:30, there is the Caring for Your Creek Working Bee. That one is at the Bullock Dray Park Creek Care Site in Mount Crosby. From 9 till 10:30, there is the Wendon Way Bushcare Working Bee. That one is at Wendon Way Park in Bridgman Downs. From 9 till 11 a.m, there is the Butterfly Bushcare at the Hilltop, and that one is at the Reservoir Track Carpark, Sir Samuel Griffith Drive in Mount Coot-Tha. Then from 3 till 5, there is the Yeronga Bushcare August Working Bee.
And happening on Tuesday the 12th, at 7:30 is Mulbin rewilding. That's at Maruka Lions Bicentennial Park in Indooroopilly. Thanks so much for listening in today. Stick around for the coolest cats on radio. This is Jordan with Sonic Aliens. They're going to be interviewing People Mover and Wisp. We just got a subscriber.
Whoa.
Thanks very much, subscriber.
Thank you.
And don't forget that if you are a subscriber, you get discounts to tickets happening in Gig City this year. That Sound Over the Fence festival is happening on Saturday, this Saturday, the 9th of August. They're going to have groups like Ghostmutt, Makisco, The Blankettes, Tape Off, heaps more. It's just going to be fantastic.
If you want to head to 4ZZZ, you can head over to 4ZZZ.org.au/support. There's a heap of different tiers that you can subscribe for, so go and check it out.
And we're going to leave you with this song. This is These Idle Hands with Stringy Mangoes.
Just before we leave, Dave, I would like to mention that Scott Griffin, the manager at Tomcats, he passed away on the weekend. Scott was... I didn't know him as well, even though he was my boss, but he did help get a lot of bands booked at Tomcat, a lot of local bands booked. So please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers, I suppose.
Yeah, commiserations, folks. You've been listening to Eco Radio, 4ZZZ.